Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. As always, leaving a like, leaving a comment, or subscribing helps out with the channel immensely. Very big welcome to all the new Patreon members. Very big thank you to everyone who leaves a comment every day to help out the algorithm. And without further ado, you guys know this is going to be another weird, maybe not too weird, but there's definitely some odd stuff happening in the cryptocurrency space. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, and apparently it's a lot of people, I keep seeing people telling me that I'm not looking at the screen. It says Bitcoin Cash is on a downward motion since breaching $105. Here's why: because no one's using it. The news a couple of days ago, for those of you who missed it, I think it was 2, maybe 3 days ago, is that apparently, what is it? It's St. Kitts and Bart in the Bahamas. They announced that by March, they might be accepting or using Bitcoin Cash as legal tender within the country. I think the intent was, as usually happens, is to boost the price of said coin by people thinking that there's going to be a usage of the coin, but no one actually uses Bitcoin Cash. And you would see that in, I believe it was 2 videos ago, where I actually showed you the numbers and the metrics. It wasn't simply me writing on a chalkboard saying no one's using it. Like, I actually showed you that it's nearly a, when I say a dead coin. So it probably had a slight movement upward from the news, and then people realized, oh yeah, the coin's not actually that good. So this is the first time that we've seen the words Bitcoin Cash in the news and in price news in a very long time. It's quite fascinating that people are trying to revive that project. It says Litecoin shows bullish signs as price eyes $70. Will bulls push to this region? Maybe. There's also never any Litecoin news. We haven't heard anything upgradey or usagey of Litecoin since, what was it, last year? When they, or was it this year? I don't remember. When they finally activated Mimblewimble, which is the, what do you call it? The private transaction protocol, which I thought and many other people believed would be kind of a game changer for the coin, but it actually nearly ended up doing nothing because no one even talks about it. I don't even think there's like a huge swing in the amount of people who have started using Litecoin as their privacy coin, if you will. So also quite weird that it's even in the price news. Also quite odd, for some reason, one of the most popular price newses of the day is about Terra Luna. It says the price of Terra Luna's Classic indicates an impending 20% explosive move. For some reason, everyone's quite optimistic or talking about where Terra Luna Classic is going to be going today. It says Terra Luna Classic price prediction as Luna Classic sees a $100 million trading volume come in. I think I'd be a little bit more impressed if it was like $500 million or maybe like $1 billion extra dollars worth of trading volume. $100 million sounds like a lot, but you need far less than that to actually move a price. So hopefully we get some like sustained numbers there if that's actually going to be doing anything. It's been a couple of days. I see the trends slowly shifting where we're actually seeing information about other coins once again, and it's not just one particular piece of news, but the Terra Luna price news for some reason was quite big today. It almost outshined anything Bitcoin as far as like price news. The price news for Bitcoin is also incredibly optimistic, which makes me terrified because anytime we get, if we have successive moments of good news in Bitcoin's price or in the cryptocurrency space, prices always seem to drop because that's just how logic works for a lot of people. It says Bitcoin price prediction, is the recovery just getting started? Bitcoin is currently up by roughly around 1%, depending on where you're looking. I saw some places is up by around 1.4%. It's usually different on many different crypto exchanges, or depending on where people are actually getting their prices from. This one says Bitcoin price analysis. Bitcoin to the US dollar moves up slowly. Will it retest $16,900 soon? Maybe. Sure. Why not? If we can stop getting tons of negative news about the entire FTX SBF thing, we would probably be, I'm telling you, we would be above $25,000 right now. Just based on pure logic and also movement of the actual stock market. So there's nothing explicitly or really holding us back, other than the news that's constantly out there about how we have to fall further. There was also other price news for Bitcoin. It was something along the lines of like, Bitcoin must retest $10,000 before we can have bull run. And I don't know where people get these numbers from, or these literal delusions. It says traders are confident in Bitcoin's price rally despite heavy Bitcoin outflows from exchanges. I don't know who writes these articles and how they don't understand how crypto works. The word despite should not be there. It should be because of. We're seeing large amounts of outflows of every cryptocurrency from many different cryptocurrency exchanges. Why? Because people have had the bejesus scared out of them the last 10 days as far as having their money on any type of centralized or any exchange in general. A lot of people have been taking their money off of these exchanges, fearing some type of a contagion, or whatever word you kind of want to use, from the FTX downfall. And therefore, historically, we have always seen when people are taking their cryptocurrencies off of exchanges, in this case, Bitcoin, it tends to have a positive effect on the price. If there's 1 million Bitcoin on an exchange and then the next day you have 500,000 Bitcoin, but the demand remains the same for people buying it, there's less to buy. The price will go higher. That's just how it works. So, not holding my breath. I'm waiting for the full extent of any FTX, SBF, ABC, Alameda, Genesis, whatever news to be completely gone, and then I'll be remotely optimistic, or once again, hashtag bearish, on us actually moving up in price once again. But until then, nope. I just expect we're going to keep on falling because the people out there are ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, that's the price news. Look at that. We have actual price news today, because the last couple of days there was nothing. It was simply nothing but FTX news. I guess that's just how it is when there's a dramatic event going on. Yeah, that's all the price news. And let's move on. Also in the news, leading crypto companies such as Tether are scrambling to reassure users that their products and services are free of FTX and Alameda contagion. The world's largest stablecoin issuer, Tether, has ensured that there are no risks from USDT on the Solana network. On the 18th of November, Tether issued a statement that Alameda issued Tether was safe from any contagion fallout from the failed FTX exchange. According to the Tether Transparency Report, Solana is the third largest network for the stablecoin after Tron and Ethereum. There are 1.89 billion tethers on Solana, representing just under 3%. I didn't even know that they had any Tether on it. Nonetheless, just 3%. I find it kind of weird that the people from Tether haven't kind of spread out a little bit more, as far as like they've been announcing that they're moving to other blockchains or have a portion of their Tether on other blockchains. I assume that's due to the idea of further decentralization. You know, our coin isn't just on one chain, decentralization and all that kind of other stuff. But I feel like I would have done a 50-5-5-5-5-5-5-5-5 kind of split across blockchains, but you know, whatever. And because then you end up getting into situations like this where you have to reassure people. So the news is, for those of you who missed it once again a couple of days ago, FTX collapsed. FTX was the parent company, I think, of a company called Alameda. Alameda allegedly, or FTX, you can lump them into the same ball, apparently had huge amounts of Solana and other cryptocurrencies. I think Solana was apparently their largest one. and they began to sell off their Solana in an attempt to boost up or keep up the price of the FTT token, which was associated with FTX. And apparently, because of the large amount of exposure that FTX and Alameda had to Solana, now everyone is coming forward talking about that they don't have exposure to the Solana or Solana in general, as Solana's price is also dropping. The title also said Solana tanks further. I find this all fascinating simply because the database Solana doesn't work, and we've seen that 10 times this year. You can't dispute that. I make news every single day. You can't tell me that it actually didn't happen, but it's the news that like FTX had some Solana, and that's what's causing it to go down. That's the thing that I find the most fascinating. Not that the database doesn't work, but that one crypto exchange was holding it, and that apparently is that's the problem. Also in the news, Solana NFT protocol maker Metaplex announced on Thursday that it has undergone a company-wide round of layoffs. As it says, as the contagion induced by FTX's collapse last week continues to spread across the Web3 ecosystem. No, I don't think this is contagion. I think it's simply... So if you look at the actual numbers for NFT creations and usage and like where the money is actually going, nearly all of it is just on Ethereum/Polygon. Many other platforms also have their own NFT spaces. Solana has one. Doesn't Tron also have one? And then you have Cardano has, I think, an NFT platform, and XRP also just announced one recently as well. The issue is no one's using them. I don't think anybody really wants to use them. I think once we actually get to a rip-roaring market once again and people are looking for other places to be able to do things, then that'll kind of pick up. People have announced that they're launching NFT projects on these things, but it doesn't mean that people are actually going to be using them. That's just kind of what it is. And this is why we've gone over before the significance of Polygon. Like, Polygon is the scaling platform that everyone has been waiting for on Ethereum, and now we have it, and it works great. And companies around the world are actually using it. An undisclosed number of Metaplex employees were given pink slips. For those of you who don't know what that is, in the US, you normally or historically were given like a literal pink slip of paper due to worsening market conditions for crypto generally. And for Solana particularly, the company's co-founder and CEO Stefan Hess announced in a tweet, he said, while our treasury wasn't directly impacted by the collapse of FTX and our fundamentals remain strong, the indirect impact of the market is significant and requires that we take a more conservative approach moving forward. Yeah, no one's probably just using their platform. A lot of things, and I pay attention to this as well. This is one of the really fascinating things that I've been seeing the last week and a half. A lot of companies in the cryptocurrency space, not this one in particular. I have no idea what a Metaplex is, and I frankly also don't care. A lot of companies in the space were already garbage. We've gone over that a long time. There's no actual usage. We can see when someone is faking the usage of their blockchain and sending fake transactions back and forth, and companies just announcing, yeah, we're seeing tons of usage, and we can Chainalysis and the other one. Can't remember the name of them. I always forget the name of the second one, who were announcing like, yeah, that website only actually has 120 people using it per day. A lot of companies are now coming forward announcing their closure or their lack of usage because of the FTX collapse. And I'm like, I think everyone's kind of using it as an excuse. Oh no, we have to fire half of our employees. Oh my gosh, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. I can't believe. No, it's not. It's not because of the FTX collapse that these protocols or no one's actually using these things. Like, it's just general logic. If you see that prices, do you see that prices in the cryptocurrency space have collapsed by anywhere from 90 to like 98%? Like look at the coins, look at the previous all-time highs and look at where they currently are now and just do the math. Like, you can see these coins have fallen by more than 90%. A large portion of the market is just simply not here anymore. The thing that actually moves us up in markets are the hype people, the hype men of the cryptocurrency space. Is once markets start going back up, these people begin to flood back into the market, hoping to make really easy, quick money, realizing that they should have been accumulating over the course of the 2-year period where prices were going down. And then by the time prices go really, really high, they call other hype men into the market. And that's how we end up hitting these new all-time highs. And you can usually tell, here's a hint. You can usually tell when we're having, when the market is about to recollapse, when we think we're going to go higher, it's when your mother and your grandmother enter the market. That's not a joke. And I'm sure a lot of you experience this as well. You're into crypto. You're listening to this video. Hello, nice having you here. A lot of you probably had a point where your auntie, your great uncle, your cousin who you haven't seen in 4 or 5 years texted you or called you and asked you how to open up a Bitcoin bank account. Sound familiar? That's how you always know that the crash is going to happen. It's because the non-players are trying to get, like, people who would never get into crypto. I remember hearing towards the end of 2017, there was an article, I forgot what it was. There was some guy, he wrote something or said, I don't remember what it was. And this guy was talking about that he was in a cab and he was so excited about the cryptocurrency market because he saw the prices going up. He had been in the market for a long time. And he said he was in a cab, I think maybe in New York or something like that. And the cab driver turned around and was like, oh, have you heard about crypto? And he was like, what? He was like, yeah, do you have Ripple? He was like, you know what Ripple is? Yeah, I bought some. My friend bought some. My grandfather bought some. And he's like, oh, he said he called his friend and was like, sell right now because the prices are about to collapse. That's how you always know. Anyway, that's the Solana news. There was also more Solana news, but it basically has to do with the price falling and all that other stuff. But, I think you get the gist. Still shocked that this is what's causing the price of Solana to collapse. Not any real logic. All right. Let's move on. Also, no. Not us. Singapore government's Temasek, that is Temasek, has written down the full value of $275 million of their investment into FTX. They said, our belief in the actions, judgment, and leadership of Sam Bankman-Fried would appear to have been misplaced. The weirdest part of all of this is how many people trust him. Trusted, past tense him. It seems like and there's more, of course, collapse news, because the collapse news is everywhere. But it's really, FTX was big in crypto, but it wasn't like the everything of crypto. The more days that go on and the more companies and governments who announced that they were supporting Sam Bankman-Fried, this is all very, very odd. Why did everyone trust this one person? Even more so, I like to believe that there's some level of checks and balances. But then I said no because of 2008, 2009. If you look at the collapse of world markets in 2008 and 2009, I think everyone, or rather the major players, knew exactly what was going on. They knew that they were handing out poo-poo to people who were trying to get mortgages. And they knew that as long as they won and they made it, they didn't really care. You mean to tell me after 35 companies who had invested in and other places and in governments who had invested directly in FTX, no one looked into their numbers? No one knew any of this? No one saw the over leveraging? Like I can't imagine, maybe because I would run a country or a company differently, having exposure to these companies and like being, it's totally fine. I see exactly what they're doing. It's very, very weird that everyone just kind of let this play out. But once again, this is how the world works. As long as the people at the top are making tons and tons of money, no one has a problem with it. For those of you who missed the news yesterday, there's now like a class action lawsuit against Sam Bankman-Fried and multiple celebrities who at some point said, we love FTX. And it's like, really? It's just so, because if everyone was still making money, this would not even be a conversation. But alas, here we are. The Singapore government's Temasek Holdings issued a statement regarding its investments in FTX on Thursday after the cryptocurrency exchange filed for bankruptcy. Temasek is a global investment company headquartered in Singapore with a portfolio of 403 billion Singaporean dollars. Temasek was established to own and manage the assets held by the Singapore government. The government is the sole equity shareholder of Temasek. And then the government, I don't have to go on any further. The government basically came forward and were like, we have no exposure to FTX. We're not friends with them. We didn't send them any text messages, and the birthday cards that we sent were sent back to us because we're the government. And it's like, okay, sure, we get it. Like, but this is all very weird. I think this goes down a lot further than any of us can actually expect or explain. It's all a little weird. I wonder if this is the influence that FTX as a smaller crypto exchange compared to Binance or Coinbase had on countries and companies around the world. What kind of exposure do governments have to Binance or to Coinbase? Because after all of this, you would assume that governments weren't just shaking hands with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. I would assume, especially, like, remember all the news that we got from Binance from last year and this year? Governments hated them. You're unregulated. And now that they have all the paperwork, all we're getting are photos of Changpeng Cao hanging out with kings and queens and dictators and other things like that. And it's like, huh. So I guess the moral of that story is, let's just hope that Binance isn't also insolvent, because I feel like that'd be another gigantic domino piece falling. This was relatively popular news. I mean, if we get information that Singapore's government was invested with or in FTX, it's going to kind of make headline news. Then that also leads me to who else invested in them but simply isn't saying anything, and what other governments were doing the exact same thing. That's the Singapore's Temasek. Says that their $275 million FTX investment is now worth zero. And there's a photo of someone dumping $1 bills in a toilet. Classic. All right. Let's move on. Next up this is not crypto news, but everyone in crypto is talking about it. This was probably the most popular news story of the day. Following Elon Musk's implementation of an, and I quote, extremely hardcore culture in the Twitter space, hundreds of Twitter employees have resigned from the company. Reportedly, Twitter's new CEO has recently issued an ultimatum on the social media platform to make employees work harder. This prompted several hundred Twitter employees, including engineers, to announce their departure. For those of you who did not hear about this, apparently sometime last night or in the afternoon, I don't have an exact time frame for you, Elon Musk sent out an email or a Slack message, I don't know, to a bunch of people basically saying that he will need them to work longer hours. Part of the rumor is, I haven't seen the exact paper myself, as I am not a Twitter employee. The rumors were he was asking people to try and work 50 or 60-hour weeks as opposed to the regulated 40. And on top of that as well, that they would have to basically stand with Twitter in anything that they do and all this other kind of nonsense. The normal things that people don't want to hear when they're already working for a company for a long time. Sorry, it's that time of year. In response to the company's staff resignation following Musk's ultimatum, the hashtag RIP Twitter began to trend on Twitter Space. According to Bloomberg, Twitter closed its offices until Monday to avoid... Sorry. Twitter closed its offices until Monday to avoid further confusion, as a large number of employees decided to leave the company. So they actually had to close their offices until next week because so many people left. For those of you who didn't get it, The people who actually built their infrastructure for the website are gone. The news is, for those of you who are following the reality of the situation, because there's a lot of people on Twitter who like Elon Musk who aren't paying attention to what's actually happening. They think that this platform was acquired by Musk to help free speech and other. There apparently are multiple other actual apps and websites where you can actually free speech yourself to heaven and back if you choose to do so. He tried to acquire this website earlier this year and signed a whole bunch of paperwork that basically said he was going to do it. And then he tried to back out of it, but he was obligated to actually do so. He acquired the company. What was it 44 billion, 60 billion? I don't know. It was a huge amount of money. He actually overpaid for the company because the stock price began to dramatically fall. And he would have been able to buy it for around 20 billion if he had just simply waited a little bit longer, because everything else around the world has begun to collapse over the course of this year. When he took over the company, he walked in with a literal sink, trying to make a joke because he has people who try to massage his personality for the public to make him seem like he's doing something really clever or funny, holding a literal sink, walking in saying, "Let that sink in," as in, let it sink in that I'm the CEO, and also let the literal sink in through the door. Ha ha ha, super funny. Part of the problem is that the same day or the day after, he actually fired 7,500 of the 10,000 employees who are actually working at Twitter. Part of the problem is, for those of you who missed that video, California law says you can't do that. You have to give people like proper notice saying, hey, you are going to be laid off on this date. You have 3 months to be let go, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And he didn't do that. So there's a gigantic class action lawsuit from Twitter employees, allegedly, also against Elon Musk because he fired them in this sort of way. The other part is, for those of you who missed it, nearly all of Twitter's main advertisers have left the platform, because if you haven't been paying attention, this is why I say a lot of people don't pay attention because they don't want to pay attention, and they're simply following the fact that Elon Musk has another company. Woo, can't believe it. Is that a lot of people on Twitter have been using less than nice words on the platform, and the increase of that has actually exploded by around, I think, 700 to 800%. Yep, and it's those words, the exact one that you're thinking of. It's those. The most hateful words are being used more and more on Twitter because people think that they can now use those words because Elon Musk personally will not be deleting their account. And then you get to the other fact that Twitter only makes its money. 90% of Twitter's revenue actually comes from advertisements. What happens when 90% of your advertisers actually end up leaving the platform? Yeah, you end up losing money. So what happens is you have to start trying to charge people $20 to have a blue check mark. What's the problem there? No one wants to pay $20, so he says $8, and everyone's like, yeah, $8 sounds okay. I'm still not going to pay it, but someone else will. And then guess what? People actually end up paying the $8. But the problem is that copycat accounts ends up popping up. For those of you who missed that news, a whole bunch of other accounts, it was hundreds of accounts on the first day began to pop up, basically copying and or mimicking or pretending to be gigantic companies or TV shows, or also world leaders, who also had a guaranteed blue check mark. The problem with the blue check mark is people thought that these accounts were real, and these people who were pretending to be world leaders began to go on there saying really harsh things about other people and other groups of people and other things like that without having to go into too many details. And then guess what? More advertisers actually left the platform. Yeah, see, it's the reality of the situation, which most people who love Elon Musk are not paying attention to. I told you from the beginning that this was going to be an absolute catastrophe because he has no right to actually even want to own a social media platform that he can't own himself. Or even more so, if you're going to do so, just leave the actual employees who have propped up the company for the last 12 years. Maybe they know what they're doing. So last night he announced that he was going to be doing this, and you should have a hardcore approach to wanting to work there, and you need to be able to do this. And it's estimated that I think only around 7% of employees still remain. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means 93% are estimated to have actually left or have been fired. And now the people who he actually fired or who left yesterday, they were the actual, they were the bones of the house. They were the structure that kept the entire thing afloat. And that's why he's closed until Monday, because he's probably scrambling, trying to tell some of these people to come back for an extra 3 months and or trying to find new people. Fantastic, right? So like I said, this wasn't crypto news. Like this, nothing has to do with crypto here, but this is one of the most popular news stories of the day, if not the most popular. Changpeng Zhao, I don't think I have the news here because I rolled my eyes into the back of my head. Changpeng Zhao was also in the news for this as well. Why? I guess I don't know. Maybe he's trying to secure or protect his investment. For those of you who missed it, Elon Musk could not pay for the entirety of the 44 or whatever $billion it cost to actually acquire Twitter. He had to have a bunch of other billionaires behind him also giving him money, and Changpeng Zhao was one of those people. Changpeng Zhao actually gave, I think it was $500 million to the Twitter acquisition under the premise or pretense that we received in public news that allegedly they were going to try and start integrating cryptocurrencies into the platform. And that also was backed up by the news that we got about 5 something days ago, that apparently Twitter has filed a bunch of paperwork to be a bank transmitting money licensing platform kind of thing. I don't know why this was one of the most popular news stories. But a lot of people were going through the motions talking about how this is the greatest thing they've ever heard. Twitter is finally going to be an amazing place. Twitter was relatively fine before. I'm not going to go any further into that. But if you didn't think that Twitter was, lightly okay, I don't know what to really tell you. Once again, there are tons, at least a handful of other platforms where you can speak your mind and do as you wish. So not really sure there. Also, just to give everyone a little bit of a backstory, because every other article, there were at least 18 today, that kept on popping up. And this is, and I know someone is going to be shocked. So if you're already clutching your pearls, I apologize for this. A lot of people, for some reason, and we've had arguments on this channel before with people telling me that I'm completely insane and have no idea what I'm talking about. Elon Musk did not found Tesla. I don't know who needed to hear that. And I know someone just jumped out of their seat, but you needed to hear those words. Tesla was founded, and I'm once again, I always make sure to show you the proof or to show you the receipts, as the kids say, because I want you to really understand what logic actually is and what the reality of life always is. Tesla was founded by two other people in 2003. Founded by other people. Elon Musk did not found Tesla. In 2004, Elon Musk paid several $1 million to actually sit on the board of Tesla, and he continued to buy more and more stock until he was the majority shareholder, and at that point, he acquired the company himself. Once again, I don't know who needed to actually hear that, and that's simply because every other article kept on saying Tesla founder Elon Musk, he did not found it. He founded SpaceX, and that's it. Every other company, he saw it, he started putting money into it, he became a large shareholder, he ended up taking over the company. But part of the issue is that a lot of times what people don't know is that when Elon Musk buys or acquires or becomes the majority of a company, he has the previous people who worked there actually sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, that says that they can never, ever again announce through the acquisition that they actually founded the company. So this is why he's legally able to say all the time, I founded the company, because the other people are not able to contest him or say that he did not, as part of their agreement for the actual acquisition. Oh, and the other B was, so as in A was, he did not found Tesla, and B was that Elon Musk has always been rich. I know it hurts to hear it. I know it hurts so much, and I know someone just left a dislike. I know it hurts. For those of you who did not know, and I can feel people scrambling going to Google. Elon Musk was born in South Africa. His father was an emerald miner. His mother at some point, I think the story is, left the father and went to the States. And there are all these photos that you see of Elon Musk walking down the street in baggy clothing. That's because he has no style. And he's like lightly balding. And it's meant to look like this poor, like literally, it's meant to look like this poor downtrodden man is walking down the street I can't believe he somehow managed over the course of a 3-year period to gather up millions of dollars to be able to buy and purchase Tesla and PayPal. Isn't that really weird? If only we could all do that. It's the American dream, right? To come to America, to, stay there for about a good 7 or 8 years, get older, and then have hundreds of millions of dollars. Elon Musk was never poor. Neither was Zuckerberg, which is also that was for those of you who were not here or may simply be younger and don't understand, that was a gigantic thing many years ago. All those Facebook movies that came out tried to make it as if he was this lowly, I just don't have enough money. Didn't he go to Harvard? Everyone he knew was wealthy. You can't create and acquire these companies unless you have money. The entire mythology around Elon Musk that the literal poor man acquired this company or even founded Tesla is a lie. I don't know why people mythologize this man so much when we have the actual information. Look up the story about his family, about his father, how rich that he was. And last point, if you ever get a chance to see his mother looks like someone who was from the Capitol in the Hunger Games. This woman was never poor. Listen to her speak. She does not have a commoner language. This woman was always... I watched an interview of her. This was months ago, maybe even years ago. She sounds like someone who started the Hunger Games. She sounds posh AF is as far as I will actually go there. So that's the Elon Musk news. Yeah, for some reason, got a little off track there, but I know people needed to hear that I have a friend, and I know he's not listening. I have a friend who's obsessed with Elon Musk. He thinks this man can do no wrong, and I told him everything that Elon Musk said he was going to do that he did not do. There are lists online, you can find them. Every single thing he's ever mentioned has never actually come true. If you look at what's that Hyperloop, and also 2024 Mars, and it took him days to finally come back and be like, okay, you're right. I don't know why everyone puts him on a pedestal. I don't get it. It's the weirdest thing in the entire world. Anyway, that's the Elon Musk news. Wow. Whoa. He fired people. That was... I didn't see that one coming. News. Yeah. Let's move on. Also my gosh, please just stop it already. So allegedly, the Bahamian, is that how you say that? The government of the Bahamas allegedly instructed Sam Bankman-Fried to hack into FTX. This is also quite popular news. Why did they do it? How did it happen? Allegedly, the story goes, after Sam Bankman-Fried filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, I think their assets were frozen or something like that, and he had no access to them. He's also no longer the CEO, so therefore he doesn't have access to FTX as a crypto exchange. There's now another new person who has taken over, who has spent the last 3 days bad-mouthing Sam Bankman. Like, dude, like, get it. Like, we get it. Like, Sam Bankman-Fried is terrible. You don't, as the new CEO, you don't have to go on a Twitter rant talking about how terrible this person was. We get it. If you're the new CEO, it's clearly because the other one was terrible. Amazing. Got it. After all that took place, the rumors now are, or it is being alleged that the government of the Bahamas is trying to tell Sam Bankman-Fried to hack into the old system because they think that he has like a backdoor key to be able to get in to acquire money to pay back debts in some form or something like that. And another gigantic eye roll kind of thing. This is the amount of governments who are announcing that they are a part of all this is a little weird. I know I'm not the only one seeing that, but it's a little odd how many governments keep popping up being like, oh, no, we no longer have exposure, or we have minimal exposure, or they're trying to get him to get money from FTX. Or it's just a lot to handle every single day. I mean, this is also, at least for me, this is some kind of really weird level of validation that we keep thinking that governments aren't into crypto, and then lo and behold, they all are. If you missed the video on Money Rules like a day or two ago as to who the largest, what country is the largest holder of Bitcoin in the planet, you'll be unsurprisingly shocked because it's always the exact same thing. We keep hearing that these people aren't into crypto. Lo and behold, they all are. Where is the other one? And also in the news, that is a very dramatic photo. It says, here are the sports marketing deals crumbling along with FTX. And then the photo is of a deflated basketball that looks like it's from like the 1980s. It's completely like, it looks rusted. Like it just looks really old and dusty. So I don't know where they got that photo from. So apparently over the last like 2 days, a whole bunch of sporting institutions and companies have basically come out to announce that they also had exposure to FTX, or they had money in FTX, or they invested with FTX, or they were a partner with FTX, and now they're no longer a partner with them. Why was no one saw this? Except for that one guy on Twitter. I keep seeing your post popping up, guy. I think the image is of like a white wolf, or it's something. It's some whatever it is inside of the circle. This guy apparently figured it out in like March. He's been writing the whole time telling people that something was wrong with FTX, but no one else was looking into these partnerships. No other governments were paying attention. All right. So apparently Mercedes-AMG Petronas, sounds like a Harry Potter thing. The Formula One racing team announced on the 11th of November that it had suspended its FTX partnership and removed the exchange brands from its car. The Miami Heat, although still called the FTX Arena. How is this possible? Okay, the NBA's Miami Heat tweeted a statement on the 11th of November saying that Furia, don't know what that is. Brazilian esports team Furia, Furia, said it would discontinue its FTX sponsorship on the 11th of November. The Golden State Warriors, the NBA's Warriors, made their move on the 14th of November, revealing that the team would be stopping promoting or advertising the exchange. Team Solo Mid, esports team Solo Mid TSM, inked FTX's largest disclosed deal in June 2021 at a whopping $210 million across 10 years. So they've also stopped that as well. UC Berkeley, the University of California, Berkeley signed, what's going on? Signed a 10-year deal naming rights with FTX for its stadium. Was everyone really that stupid? No one realized who this man was? Also, UC Berkeley, Major League Baseball, FTX's 5-year deal to put a logo patch on the uniforms of league umpires remains intact as of writing. Although the league's commission has now commented probably a pretty good bet that FTX patch would be removed for next season. Riot Games, the studio behind popular game League of Legends, a favorite of FTX founder Who Cares, signed a 7-year deal in August of 2021. So everything was okay. This is making a bit more sense. So it looked like everyone signed these deals at the height of the prices last year. Now, okay, it's making a lot of sense now. Everyone was going completely insane looking for partnerships in crypto. You all signed. Is it because FTX is smaller? Like, and I mean like letter-wise. Because if you have Binance on a shirt, it doesn't look too nice. If you have the letters like Coinbase, it's kind of a long name, but FTX kind of fits into everything. Like you can have a patch that says FTX. You can have the FTX letters on a car. It doesn't take up as much space as the word Coinbase. Can you imagine if that's the actual reason, how dumb that would be? And I feel like that's exactly what it is. I feel like I just solved the case. So Riot Games is also stopping it as well. The Washington Wizards and Capitals, I don't know what that is, in December 2021. See, everyone was doing it last year. FTX revealed a wide-range deal with the monumental sports and entertainment Washington-based teams, including the NBA's Wizards, NHL's Capitals, and WNBA's Mystics. So they're also stopping that as well. FTX also signed a number of major athletes to the roster, including Tom Brady. Yeah. Remember I told you the class action lawsuit? Apparently, these are the celebrities also, I think, being sued or something like that as well. Who knows? Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Naomi Osaka, and Shohei Ohtani. All 4 of those stars were given equity when agreeing to endorse FTX. Oh, that's the problem. Although it's unclear whether every such athlete deal was the same, probably not. I assume Tom Brady and Steph Curry probably got more than the other people. Yeah, that was it. So It continues the no, not us. We're not dealing with them anymore. And then you see, I think it's an umpire or somebody in sports, and he has FTX on his shirt and then FTX over here. So cool, amazing. I feel like we're getting to the end. I'm trying to be more optimistic. Like, I feel like we're getting to that point where the FTX news, I know it's everywhere, but I feel like it's dwindling, or I feel like it's not as intense as it was before. We've kind of gotten to the point where just tons of companies being like, hey, not us. We don't care. We're not with them. We're not so and so and so. The market, fear only lasts for so long. It's just a human thing. If we heard this news over the course of a year, people would stop caring almost immediately. You can't be afraid forever. So that's the sports people apparently now no longer like FTX as well. So keep the ball rolling. Everyone say your piece. Everyone talk about how much you hated or how you were invested in them and now you don't anymore. So we can all move on as a cryptocurrency community. Yeah. Let's move on. Rightio. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Martin Steuer, Bodie McBoatface, Sam Ratter, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Roman, Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mobarazi, VB 21, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Patrick Nostra, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman, High XRP, March, Story, Nostromo, John Sarson, Anima Rita, Bibliophobia. Adam Graysake, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Setsuna, Paxis, Nick Manji, Alavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigero Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has left a like, a comment, has subscribed, who is still here listening to me. And everyone, thank you to everyone who has not clicked away after I was talking about the Elon Musk thing, because you can see on YouTube metrics, like through your video, when you're talking about a certain topic, who leaves the channel, how many people leave. Anytime I say anything negative about Elon Musk, what's the other guy? There's some other really popular person who everyone loves to kiss his ring. You see immediately people begin to leave. It's because they don't want to hear the actual reality of the situation. Everyone keeps putting these men on these pedestals to believe that they're some like godlike figures. And the story always is, I started out poor. Look how rich I am now. That's never how it happened. Look at all the billionaires in the space. These people had money before. They weren't like dropouts. Like that was a thing years ago for the people who created Apple in the 80s. Like the story was, it was these downtrodden, nearly balding men. No, these people like came from families that had money. They might not have been like wealthy, but they weren't poor. These people weren't on the streets scribbling on newspapers or napkins being like, semiconductor? Apple. People eat apples. Apple computers. We did it. Let's do it. No, like that's never how it happens. But the story always is, like, it is written in the history books as these people who had nothing before. And look at that. The American dream came true. The American dream doesn't exist even for Americans. I don't know if you realize that, or if you're not in America, but let me tell you, boy, howdy. At the moment, Bitcoin is up by 1.3%. Ethereum is up by 2.16%. Binance Coin is up by 2%. XRP is up by nearly 3%. Cardano is up by 1.6% as well. Tron is up by 3%. Uniswap is up by 3%. Litecoin is up by 6.4% by the grace of God. There's no Litecoin news. I'm not understanding how that even took place. Leo is up by 5%. Anything else crazy? Chiliz is up by 8.7%. Quant is up by 5 percentile points as well. Luna Classic is up by 2%. Elron eGold is up by 2%. EOS is up by 2% as well. Trust Wallet token is up by 7%. ApeCoin is up by 2 percentile points as well. And Theta is up by 2.9%. What a time to be alive. Look at us being able to experience all of this madness around the world at once. Aren't we the lucky ones? I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, subscribing, and or supporting in your own way. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.